This wasn't just a bad day for Prince Harry. This was the moment everything cracked at once, his case destroyed, his reputation shaken, and the one person he built it all around nowhere to be seen
has to explain why he lied in court about his relationship with Charlotte Griffith.
It's quite possible that the Daily Mail could now seek revenge on Harry and go after him for more millions, because they've been dragged through the mud on this one.
Right now, an extraordinary courtroom verdict. Prince Harry has lost his £50 million case against the Mail, but today, as he arrives for a speech at Chatham House, the moment this devastating verdict is announced, I can tell you he has also lost his reputation.
I can legally say Prince Harry, comma, a known liar. Or, if I was kind, Prince Harry, comma, a known serial memory variant.
Not only Prince Harry personally, but also now the Invictus Games are in serious financial trouble.
Look at that empty space beside Prince Harry, because that silence isn't accidental. It's evidence of something missing, something that was always supposed to be there. Meghan Markle. And yet, when Prince Harry stepped forward, when Prince Harry tried to steady his voice in that room, there was nothing. No hand, no support, no quiet reassurance. Just Prince Harry alone trying to hold together a moment that was already slipping through his fingers. And people noticed. Oh, they noticed, because something felt off even before a single word was spoken. The paper in Prince Harry's hand trembled, the voice cracked, and the room didn't lean in with sympathy. It watched, carefully, closely, like everyone already knew this wasn't going to end well.
What? He committed perjury, and he can sue me if he wants. King Charles must now strip his titles. This case, this verdict was make or break for the Duke of Delusion, and it is over.
90 minutes. That's all it took for Prince Harry's entire narrative to collapse. 90 minutes before that stage, a judge had already dismantled everything Prince Harry had built. Every claim, every accusation, gone, swept aside with a calm finality that didn't leave room for spin, excuses, or second chances. This wasn't a narrow loss. This wasn't a close call. This was total erasure. And Meghan Markle? Meghan Markle wasn't there. Not in the courtroom, not in London, not even on the same continent. While Prince Harry stood there facing the consequences of a fight he insisted was for Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle was 5,000 miles away. Watching? Maybe? Silent? Absolutely. And that silence, it wasn't neutral. It was loud.
It's not a split decision, as many of us suspected. This was a slam dunk for the Daily Mail. It wasn't even close.
Because here's the question nobody dared to say out loud in that room, but everyone was thinking, if this was all for Meghan Markle, then where was Meghan Markle? Where was the woman Prince Harry cried for? Where was the woman Prince Harry said this entire battle was about protecting? The answer wasn't complicated. Meghan Markle wasn't there. And that absence didn't just hang in the air, it rewrote the entire story. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about a failed case, this was about something deeper, something more uncomfortable, a fracture, a shift. A moment where the carefully constructed image of unity started to look like something else entirely.
Massive win for the Mail. Massive defeat for the Ginger Whinger and the other celebrities involved who love to use the media when it suits them. How delicious that he's come back to the UK just in time to be humiliated. Expect the mother of all tantrums later.
The judge didn't hesitate. One by one, every claim Prince Harry brought forward was dismantled. Not partially rejected, not reinterpreted. Dismissed completely. The accusations, serious, explosive, stretching back years, were met with one brutal conclusion. There was no proof. Suspicion wasn't enough. Belief wasn't enough. Prince Harry's narrative wasn't enough. And then came the part that stung even deeper. The court didn't just reject Prince Harry's claims, it believed the journalists instead. Let that sink in. After years of Prince Harry declaring war on the press, after turning that battle into a defining mission, the court looked directly at both sides and chose them over Prince Harry. That wasn't just a loss, that was a reversal of everything Prince Harry had been saying for years.
Prince Harry claimed that he had never met her, that he didn't know her, in order to try and destroy her career. Of course, I believe one of the most devastating moments in this case was the final day when the Daily Mail, the most astonishing personal Facebook messages exchanged between Griffiths and Prince Harry. in which it was very clear the two had had an intimate relationship that Charlotte had never previously publicly disclosed.
And it didn't stop with Prince Harry. Others followed him into that courtroom. Big names, trusted figures, people who believed in the fight Prince Harry was leading. And now they share the fallout, the reputational damage, the financial consequences. Because this wasn't a private defeat, this was public, expansive, and impossible to contain. And then, just when it seemed like the situation couldn't twist any further, something unexpected surfaced. A reminder, a quiet, almost cruel detail. Diana, the connection Prince Harry has always held close, the emotional anchor of so much of this story. And yet here was a narrative emerging that Diana had once trusted the very institution Prince Harry was trying to destroy. That contradiction didn't just sit there, it echoed. This was the fight Prince Harry built everything around. The identity, the speeches, the interviews, the purpose. And in one single afternoon, under the full glare of public scrutiny, it all unraveled. Not slowly, not subtly, completely, and still Meghan Markle wasn't there. That absence keeps coming back, doesn't it? Because no matter how you try to frame it, no matter how carefully explanations are offered, security, scheduling, distance, the reality doesn't change. Meghan Markle made a choice, a deliberate one, to stay away. And that decision, it doesn't just raise eyebrows, it raises questions, hard ones. Because when everything is on the line, when the pressure peaks, when the entire world is watching, that's when presence matters most. And in that exact moment, Meghan Markle was missing from the one place Prince Harry needed Meghan Markle to be. And now the whispers have started. Quiet at first, then louder. Because people are connecting dots. Looking at patterns, asking whether this was just coincidence or something more calculated. And this is where everything stops being just a courtroom story and starts turning into something far colder, far sharper, far more personal. Because the official explanation floats in quietly, almost politely, security concerns, logistical complications, unavoidable distance, but the moment you hold that explanation up against the reality of what the world has already seen, it begins to crack. Meghan Markle has crossed oceans for appearances, for moments, for visibility, for opportunity, for carefully curated public stages. Meghan Markle has never struggled to show up when the spotlight promised something in return. And yet, on the single day when Prince Harry stood at the absolute lowest point of his public life, when the entire structure of his argument collapsed in full view of the world, Meghan Markle remained exactly where Meghan Markle was. Behind gates, behind distance, behind silence. And that silence doesn't sit quietly. It grows, it spreads. It starts filling in gaps that no official statement can contain. Because people begin to compare. They rewind to January, to that moment when Prince Harry stood in that witness box, voice breaking, emotions spilling over, tying everything, every accusation, every grievance back to Meghan Markle. That was the foundation. That was the justification. That was the reason Prince Harry stood there in the first place. And now, months later, when the outcome finally arrives, when the fight reaches its brutal conclusion, the person at the center of it all is absent, not delayed, not hidden. Absent, and then the consequences start to unfold, not just emotionally, but financially, structurally, relentlessly. Because losing a case like this isn't symbolic, it's measurable. It has weight, it has numbers, it has consequences that don't disappear when the cameras turn away. The legal system doesn't just close the door and move on, it sends the bill. And in this case, the bill is enormous, because when Prince Harry brought this fight into that courtroom, Prince Harry didn't just risk reputation. Prince Harry risked everything tied to it: credibility, alliances, financial stability. And now that risk has materialized into something tangible, something unavoidable, something that lands directly on the foundation of the life Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have built. And this is where the contradictions begin to stack up in a way that no one can ignore, because the entire argument was framed around privacy, around intrusion, around the idea that boundaries had been crossed. And yet the life that surrounds that argument tells a different story. Interviews, documentaries, public revelations, all carefully chosen, all strategically placed, all willingly shared. The line between protecting privacy and performing it starts to blur. And once that line blurs, it becomes impossible to separate intention from outcome. So now the narrative shifts again, and this time it doesn't come from a courtroom or a judge or a legal document. It comes from the outside, from observers, from speculation, from a growing, persistent question that refuses to settle down. What does this moment actually reveal about the relationship between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Because pressure doesn't just test a case. Pressure tests alignment. It tests unity. It tests whether two people are truly standing together when the consequences hit. And right now, everything points to a fracture. Because while Prince Harry stood in London, absorbing the full impact of a decision that erased years of claims, Meghan Markle remained distant, removed, untouched by the immediate fallout. And that distance isn't neutral. It creates space. And in that space, interpretation takes over. Some see calculation. Some see detachment. Some see something even colder, a strategic separation from a moment that was always going to end badly. And then, just as that tension builds, another layer quietly settles over everything, the absence of reconciliation. Because if there was ever a moment for support to come from somewhere else, from family, from history, from connections that once defined everything Prince Harry stood for, this was it. And yet, that door didn't open. That moment didn't arrive. The distance remained. The silence continued. And suddenly, Prince Harry isn't just standing alone in a courtroom. Prince Harry is standing alone in a much larger sense. And that's the image that lingers. Not the legal arguments, not the technical details, not even the judgment itself. The image of Prince Harry isolated at the exact moment everything unraveled, while Meghan Markle remained far away, untouched, unmoved, and entirely absent from the fallout that Prince Harry carried alone.